Tim Bart's here, Long MacArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's having a great time here. And we are live. So it is June 28th, 2022. It's going to be a great episode, I think. So I have some, information there for those that are new here. Don't forget, just kind of have a layout here on the video so you can see what today's topic's going to be here. Why hasn't your Ford Maverick scheduled, and what can you do to help? So we got a couple things to look at today, and I'm excited to talk about this after seeing some different Maverick Truck Club posts and threads. I think it'll be a good topic. We'll talk about that here in about 29 minutes. Also down below, all my social media links. So if you want to find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, those kind of things, though, you can find those on my Linktree account, as well as the YouTube channels that I work with here. Where they're here, my personal YouTube channels and such. You can find all that as well as Long MacArthur's social links right there by going to that Linktree account. It's down there in the lower right hand corner. And then don't forget, if you have any questions for me, send those to fordvideoguy@gmail.com. I am a little backed up. I actually took 4 days off over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Just today's first day back. And so I took some time, did a lot of house repairs, and I'm glad to be back to work. So I'll leave it there. So painted 5 rooms in those days, and I got started on a deck project as well. And so glad to be back to work. Anyway, you can find all that information if you want to get a vehicle from us, want to get on our list for 23 order, any model, timothybarts@gmail, and I can respond to you as well down there. So also don't forget, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, hit the red subscribe button down below the lower part of this video. Hit the notification bell. That notification bell lets you know when we have another video that goes live. So if you have yours set up, you want to hit all, then all of our videos when they go live, as well as when our live streams go live, you'll get a notification 30 minutes before we go live on a scheduled live stream, as well as when we go live. So that's a great way to stay up to date there on that. And don't forget to, if you want to dive a little bit deeper, get to know me a little closer amount of the dealership and such, we do have membership available, and you can click down there right where you subscribed. Just to the left of that should be join. I will say it doesn't work on an iPad. You will have to get either on your phone or a desktop computer. Click that join. You can learn a little bit more about it before actually joining, what the different perks are. You can see all the members that are in the group here in the chat. They all have their colored name there with the different logo based on how long they've been a member. I believe Ridgeview is our first member on the channel, and you can see what his color is, and I think he's over 10 months now being a member here. So you can see the different perks that we have there. Don't forget, this is also being streamed and going to be recorded as a podcast. So if you want to check out any of these different podcasting channels, Amazon Music, Spotify, Podbean is where we host it from, which is the one in the middle and the top, Stitcher, iHeart, Pandora, your different Apple versions, 15 different places you can find our podcast. You can check that out if you want to just listen to it on the radio. Great way to do that. A lot of people I know get this content that way. I do have a couple images here, but nothing that you would miss if you're just listening along on your different podcast channels. So again, welcome. You can go over all that there. And don't forget too, we had this last week. We had 2 videos that went live. 2022 Escape S complete guide video where I go through the standard equipment, optional equipment. I like to specify what the complete guide video is. Also, we had the 22 Escape SE went live on Friday, and right now the video is ready. It'll go live tomorrow, the 22 Escape SEL, and then we'll be doing, by the end of the week, 22 Escape Titanium. You're probably asking, why are you going through the Escape videos? Well, and that's because that's about the only vehicle left that you can actually order a 22 in right now. All the other order banks are closed other than Mustang. So I'm trying to finish these out. And then as the order guides come out for the 23, we're going to be drilling through those in that same format that you're seeing in those videos. So if you want a good idea of what kind of the content and how it's going to look like when the when 23 order guides open up, that's kind of close to how it's going to look, although the build and price won't be the same because the build and prices won't be available at the launch when the order guides come out. So help you get that information. Also, Thursday night we'll be going live on Facebook. So if you want to ask your questions, total just Q&A the whole time, not a topic. We won't go through scheduling information and such like that. And those, a lot of people like those that are on Facebook because a smaller group of people in there, and you could get your questions answered. And I make sure I answer every question before moving on. So, and then don't forget to mark your calendars for the Midwest Maverick meetup here in Salina, Kansas at Lakewood Park. Real fun, nice big park with a playground for the kids to play on. We'll have all kinds of stuff. You can see the shelters that are there, but we're going to have a climbing wall. You can see frisbee golf, nature trails, a lot of nature trails, big pond for canoeing, kayaks, so do bring those. Fishing poles if you want to like to fish. There's a dock there for fishing as well. A lot to do there, and we're going to have Zorb balls. Don't know what that is. We'll have food trucks. We'll have a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll have content. It should have content for the order guides by August 13th. Forgot to tell you the date. Starts at 11. We'll go as late as we need to, probably, up till a certain point, but we'll be starting that out at 11 a.m. that morning. It's a Saturday, August 13th. And of course, members, make sure you're checking out the video content I send you, because we'll do a special meetup Friday night for our exclusive members there. So that'll be a lot of fun. And don't forget also, Johnny's in the chat here, but his YouTube channel, I put it linked it in the description, as well as a lot of other links of some other articles that we're going to talk about later. All that's in the description. Check that out after the video if you want to, and be a nice information to kind of expand onto this. And Johnny is a great way to get a little bit more content in the same fashion and same, genuine content and knowledge on the content as well, if you want to add something to this. So let's get started. Scheduling information here. We do have the Bronco is scheduling this week, or no, Bronco is not scheduling this week. We have about 5 models that are not scheduling, and Bronco is not scheduling this week. We did have all of our allocations that did get scheduled last month. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do this, see if this works here. Let me just double check it and make sure my links are all good to go here. Okay, they are not, so good thing I checked. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're good to go. So, kind of give you a look at that. So, here we go. So, we do have, this kind of shows you how many we had. We did have on a Bronco, we did have all 6 of our allocations were scheduled last week. They all were orders that were our oldest orders, which is good. So, we had those 21 Bronco orders that finally all of them got scheduled. 6 of the 17 got scheduled this last week. Bronco Sport, it is closeout. So Bronco Sport, they are working on the closeout of 22 model year production. They were scheduling them for the dates of 8/1 to 8/29. Let's see, Bronco, we do have 1 allocation here, so maybe we'll see those get scheduled this week. Oh, Gary, thanks for the donation there. It says, thanks for everything, Tim. My Maverick has been at the final ramp for over 3 weeks on a plant hold. Could this be due to battery issue? Possibly. Yes, it could possibly. I don't know about the cable, and maybe that's why they're holding up some of those, is because of the issues there. I'm not sure, but it's probably battery, waiting on the battery from what I understand. So, good question, though. Also, Edge. Edge is scheduling this week for the weeks of 7/18 and 7/25. We do have 2 allocations. Hopefully, can get those scheduled this week. Escape. Escape is also scheduling this week for the weeks of 8/1 to 8/15. We have 14 Escape allocations. Need those to desperately schedule. Expedition is scheduling this week. We do have 14 allocations, and they're scheduling for the week of 9/5. And then Explorer, no scheduling this week for Explorer. We do have one there, might get carried over. F-150, gas only, no hybrid scheduling for the week of 8/8. And we do have 55 allocations. It looks like this week they're going to try to schedule for 19 of those. By the way, Pro Power on board, bring this off. Pro Power on board, if you have the 2 kilowatt Pro Power on board as an option on your order, on your gas order, you might want to take those off. They're saying that they're gonna, no stock allocations or no stock scheduling will happen with that on there, but they are also telling those that have a retail order, which are custom orders, to take that option off as well. And now moving down, Maverick. Maverick is scheduling this week. In fact, it's for us, I don't know about the rest of the nation, are scheduled today. So they're scheduled for the weeks of 8/22 and 8/29. And let me see if I can get this up there, right? So, oops, see if I can get that switched over here so you guys can see that. Minimize this screen. There we go. There we go. How's that look? There you go. So there is a spreadsheet of our unscheduled orders. I'm very thorough on this, and all the green are the ones we had 18 out of our 22 scheduled last week for the they were EcoBoost orders, and we had 18 hybrid orders that all scheduled, and the oldest is at the top, and you can see some blanks in there, some white in there. That means those are orders that got passed over, and I do have one person in there that I kind of he's been communicating with me, and sad that his did not get scheduled. He's been asking me for several, about every month. But one common denominator here on all of these. This here are like dealer installed options, is this column here. So look what's a common denominator. Looms, 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 looms. So all four of the ones that got overlooked had that in there. Yes, they all had luxury package and co-pilot, but so did all the other orders ahead of them. I don't really feel like that is something that stopped it. Sliding rear window, there were the ones with sliding rear windows that got chosen. I don't believe that's a common denominator, but they all have, you know, they have other DIOs in there, but the one that's common in there is that looms. If you notice, none of the ones in the green have the looms bed lighting that were selected. So I believe, take this back off, if you have the looms bed lighting, I think you need to seriously think about taking that off your order. I know it's not on the constraint list, but that is a DIO that I encouraged several of these people to take them off, and they didn't get selected. The one I'm talking about actually was not one, but there were a couple others that I told the salespeople, contact your customer, have them let us take those off. Didn't get any response back on getting them taken off, or they wanted left on. Something can be added later. Please take those off. Okay, next one we're going to talk about. I'm going to bring this back up. I'm not real fluid with this yet, so give me a second. Okay, so anyway, well, I guess we'll skip that because I can't get that to show back up. Okay, we do have the Mustang is not scheduling this week. Mach-E is not scheduling this week. Ranger is. It is closed. I think they're closing out. 8/1 to 8/29 are the weeks that it's scheduling for. Super Duty is scheduling this week for the week of 7/25. We do have, we don't have any scheduling this week on Super Duty, and Ranger we're supposed to have 2 scheduled this week. It's funny as it has Mach-E supposedly scheduling, but yet it says it's not scheduling. Transit has been balanced out for 22. 23 startup is scheduling this week for the week of 8/22, and Transit Connect van and wagon scheduling for the weeks of 8/29, 8/22 or 8/29 for those. Those of you looking for Lincoln, 23 Aviator scheduling this week, gas only, so no plug-in hybrid, for the weeks of 8/1 through 8/29. Corsair for the weeks of 8/1 to 8/15. Nautilus for the weeks of 7/18 or 7/25. And Navigator scheduling, but there's no dates for that. So, so there is our scheduling information for this week. I have 1 minute, and we'll get to the is it true here. So I'm trying to keep to my timestamps. I did notice last week that if I edit my video at all, which I try to take out the intro for those that want to watch this recorded, that it actually gets rid of all the chat, so you can't see people looking through that. So I'm going to try to stick to my timestamps here, and we'll probably won't edit out any of the intro this time. So this week we're going to go to is it true. So right now the timestamps aren't correct in the description, so don't check it out, but I'll fix it there. So is it true for this week? So let's talk about this for a little bit. So Actually, it's not quite time yet, so give it just a second to flip over to 7:15 here. But I do want to talk about something that's happened this last week. Somebody had posted in the Maverick Truck Club, which is a great source. If you're on there, check that out. They've been very patient with me. They let me post a lot of things on there. And if you're on there, you can tag me at fordvideoguy, and you'll see all of my posts. Or I can see that you're tagging me there, and I can be aware of it. So this week, someone had said that my dealer canceled all their orders because Ford told them they wouldn't schedule, and they will need to put in new orders when 23 model year opens up. Supposedly, the rep said Ford learned from the 21 model year to 22 model year Bronco issues, so they will be canceling the orders, and dealers will have to submit new orders. This is not true. I did double check this, 'cause I'm like, I've been wrong before. So I did email the brand manager, said, hey, is this true? And here's what his quote was. He said, please do not cancel customer orders. Canceling customer orders will make it difficult for us to tie those orders to future orders, and may impact any possible private offers for those customers who were not able to have their 22 model year order built. So a couple things I got out of this, by the way. I think so that's kind of my thinking. I think what happened is, I think the dealership is trying to cover their mistake. I think either they didn't convert the order, they didn't get approved, and so there's not an order in there. So that's kind of my thinking is that they didn't get the order done correctly, or they didn't submit it, or they didn't get the approval. I think the person was in the live stream earlier and said that they double checked and they can't find the order at all. And so they said Ford told us to cancel it, so we canceled it. But I think what happened is probably didn't do the approval. And if you didn't get it approved, which we'll talk about a little bit, that's actually one of the things we're going to talk about later. That's a big impact on that. So you definitely want to make sure that you're doing that they're getting that approved. So now moving on, I do want a couple things I want to post. I put them down in the description down there. A couple things from the Maverick Truck Club. Speaking of them, that's I think a couple good links for you to look at. One of them is we're hearing issues with the dead hybrid batteries. But they do have a link that they have tracked. I'm going to keep this link. So they're tracking the dead hybrid Mavericks that are reported and reported dealer solutions and fixes. So that way you can share with each other, with your dealerships, what's working for them. So I think it's a really good link there. So I put a link down in the description for that under the dealer news. So check that out when you get a chance. If you're having an issue with that, save that. Maybe you can share that with your dealer if they're having issues as well. Another thing that came up was that there was another article in there that said Ford customer service claims emails are coming this week for those getting bumped to 23 Maverick. I don't believe that's happening. I haven't seen anything. We have not, as dealers, received any news about an email going out. If you do get one this week, let me know. I mean, that could be happening and they just don't let us know, which happens a lot. But I don't think that email is going out. For one, we still have, they've only scheduled through August. We still have September and October scheduling to be scheduled yet. So I don't think it's going to go out yet. Now, I could see something going out towards the end of July, but more than likely they are going to schedule through August 4th. So that's probably the weeks they're going to schedule for. So until the end of July, early August, you won't know whether or not you're going to get bumped to 23. So again, there's still another full month and a half of scheduling to happen in the month of July. So just hold tight. Wait one more month to find out whether or not you're going to get pushed from your order's going to get pushed to 23 in that process. Now, something I forgot I was going to go back and reference is that the brand manager had said, do not cancel your orders because canceling the customer order will make it difficult to tie those orders to future orders, meaning they're going to try to make sure that those orders are the first ones selected, right? So that's what they're wanting to do. Also impact private offers, which tells me a lot of people asked, if my 22 order gets pushed to 23, will I be price protected? Sounds like to me what they're doing instead of price protecting is they're probably going to be giving private offers to those orders that get pushed, and then you'll be getting the new prices. So what that means is when your vehicle comes in, they're doing this with Bronco right now. Any 21 order that gets converted to 22 received private offers. So depending on what equipment they had. So, so in this case, let's say you have something, because we know of, there's only a couple of prices that were actually increased in the beginning of the year. And one of them was the luxury package, whether it was the XLT or the Lariat. We also know the XLT got a little bit of a bump, as well as the Lariat in general. And then the Copilot 360 package and your moonroof. So they'll be able to see that order and see what you originally ordered, and then be able to give you what that cost difference would have been or would be for 22, and they'll give you that much probably in a private offer to help towards that. So that's probably how that's going to work there. So just so you know that, and keep that in mind, that's probably the way it's going to work, is you're going to get a private offer. So we don't know any information 100% sure, but just by seeing that and knowing that they do want to tie those 22 orders and get and possibly give them private offers, I got a feeling that's how they're going to reward those customers. So they may not get price protected, but they'll get a money back. And like I've always said, Ford likes to take care of the customers, and that private offers is a way to make sure. So when you go to take, delivery of your 23 Maverick, that was a 22 order, what'll happen is when you go to put your VIN number in, you put your information in, they'll be able to tie that private offer to you, and that'll be taken off the price of your vehicle. So yes, in a sense, you'll get price protected. So, which might be a good thing for some of you, because there are a lot of dealers still struggling with how to honor the price protection, and this might be a better case for you than any other than another way. So anyway, another one article I did link in the description under the dealer news is there's a Reddit thread out there that where motorbiscuit.com article said that you're going to be able to completely order a Maverick completely online without taking out the dealer. Pick your dealer, you're going to be able to configure it and everything. I think they got, for one, it's probably MotorBiscuit's not a reputable source for information. I would probably stay off of their site, because there's a lot of times where they're incorrect in their information and they get kind of clickbaitish. But one of the things you got to understand on this is they're probably misunderstanding because the build and price configure is online. That's not actually ordering. The build and price online is not an online order. And I've actually had some people confused about that, sending me their builds. Hey, I'm reserving and I'm ordering online. You want me to submit my order online and pick you? It doesn't work that way. That online configure is just for your information. It's just for you to play around, see what trim it is, how it affects the price, payment, and that kind of thing, and what options you have. That's all that is. You still have to go to a physical dealer. There's only one vehicle right now where you actually can order completely online, and that is the Lightning. That is the only vehicle. So just so you guys are aware of that, motorbiscuit.com, the link for the Reddit is there, but I couldn't find the article. I think they probably took it down once they realized they were incorrect on that. Probably people called them out on it. So just so you know that there. So got a couple minutes for some, actually, we'll just go ahead and start getting to the Is It True here. So, or not the Is It True, but the Ford news. I have 4 articles I want to go over and talk about for this week. First one is about that Ford files for the Mustang Dark Horse trademark. So this is pretty cool. So check this out. So they actually put out on social media, hey, help us come up with a name for a black appearance package. They didn't want to do the Ford, the Mustang black appearance package. They're tired of doing that. They wanted to give it a name, something special. And it looks like that they have actually put in for the trademark Mustang Dark Horse. So pretty cool name. So it looks like they said that the trademark application was filed on June 22nd and is still marked as being under examination at this point. But it does provide some details about what Ford plans to do with the name. More than likely, it will be used for the Mustang Black Appearance Package. So that's pretty cool. So that article was on, let's see, I think that article was, where was that article? Got to give reference. Autoblog. The rest of these are from Ford Authority, which is where I usually get most of the information. There we go. And the next article I thought was really cool, just came out just the other day. 2023 Ford F-150 Heritage Edition is revealed with unique two-tone paint. A two-tone is really a three-tone almost. But here, check this out. So you can see there. So pretty cool in how that looks. So there's a looks like a race red with the black there. But this is a Heritage Edition special body or special paint job here. Also a little bit different interior, but pretty cool little package there. So this is to mark their 120th anniversary and the 75 years of continued F-Series production. So it's a special Heritage Edition coming to the 23 F-150. And this is where I talked about every year they seem to do something a little bit different. And this is a Heritage Edition that's coming for 23 model year. So you can see how they do that. You know, 21 was a total redesign. 22 they brought back the black appearance package. 23 now a Heritage Edition package. Pretty cool. Here's the lineup and different colors you can get. So I'll go through these. You can get a race red midsection, the one there on the left. Features an upper and lower carbonized gray paint. So pretty cool there. And then you have an Atlas blue midsection. Looks like that is the second from the right over there. That also has a Gate black paint above and below there. And then you do have an antimatter blue. So the one on the far right there that comes with an upper and lower carbonized gray color. Avalanche, I love that color. It's the second from the left over there. So that one's going to be Avalanche in the middle part. Upper and lower is going to be a Gate black. And then you have Area 51 there in the middle with upper and lower a Gate black as well. So that looks pretty cool. So really cool paint schemes going on there. And then also we do have in the interior special design interior as well for this edition as well. So pretty cool there. You can see there on the console the F-Series is pretty big there, but that's pretty cool. You have a of course Sync 4 touchscreen, which you're already getting now, and then you'll have some special interior trim that's going to coordinate with this slate gray and black. So pretty cool on how that all looks. And of course we already know because I've talked about it, order bank should be opening up in July for 2023 model year there. Another article I want to talk about is that the Ford lineup still is in high demand. Order banks at over 300,000 units. That's why so many of the order banks closed up early. We know this if you're on a Maverick, you know that Maverick closed up real early, and the other models closely behind. Mach-E, E-Transit, all of them except for right now the Escape and the Mustang are the only ones that are open at this point in time. And that usually doesn't happen. So those of you that are new to this and be able to do custom orders, that's not new. Typically, you carry right into one model into the next. You don't have to close and stop taking orders. Usually they just carry right into the next and you don't have that many orders. But in this case, we do for this. So very high demand still. So Ford products are looking good. The other article is that GM is caught benchmarking the 2022 F-150 Lightning. So you can see there, Ford Authority caught them. They're busted there. So they are using the F-150 Lightning Pro version here. This is a Pro version to benchmark their future Silverado EV. And they did say the Silverado EV would come out in their work truck model first. So that's why you see them benchmarking against the Pro version here to make sure they can beat that because they're coming out with the same price point as Ford. And so they're starting with that. So they have, you can see here where they're driving it. They got a trail car there that is a Chevy as well, and then they're to benchmark that. And of course, we all do that. Ford's done the same thing. They benchmarked, the Jeep when it came to the Bronco. They said, they asked people, hey, we need to know everything, that you. About what you liked about the Jeep, what you didn't like about the Jeep, and asking all those owners so they could benchmark the Jeep Wrangler as well. So they all do this. Even Ford does this, but it's kind of fun to just kind of see that going on there. So pretty cool there. But All right, so we got about 40 seconds here. Now we'll be, of course, I know I haven't answered many questions yet. We will get into questions, but the topic of this week I think is going to be interesting. I think a lot of people will like it. And I think it's something that's impacting a lot of people's thought and what's going on right now when it comes to their order of what's going on. We're gonna have 4 people in here that this week they're gonna be questioning what's going on with my order. Why have I not been selected? We will have now 3 July orders still not scheduled going into next month. 1 August order. Hey, we'll almost have all of our August is done. We still have, some July and August not scheduled. So this is a big topic. So this week's topic, we do have the basically, as I mentioned there, why hasn't your Ford Maverick scheduled and what can you do about it? So, this came about because of a Maverick truck, couple different threads on Maverick Truck Club where it kind of discussed, what's going on, with their order, is my order being scheduled or not? And some people don't even realize that their order is already being scheduled for a build date, and they don't even realize it yet. So a couple of different points here, some things I want to point out. One of them is, how do you know whether or not your order is scheduled? Because Ford is not sending out the emails right now. They're not letting you know on that Thursday that you got scheduled. These 18 people right here will not know that their order got scheduled unless the dealer sends them some information, gives them a call, lets them know. These people would not have any recollection that's going on because orders are getting moved back, right? We've seen it on a lot of orders from late June that got moved back clear to August. So Ford, instead of telling you bad news, they would rather not tell you any news. And then when you get closer until like the week or 10 days or 2 weeks before your orders actually being built, then you're going to get an email. So some people may be with maybe 3 weeks out from getting their vehicle built and not even know it. So first thing you want to do is you want to communicate. You can communicate with your dealer. So, dealer or customer support, either way, you can give them a call, see if your order is scheduled. You will need your order number for one. Customer support can look up your order and they can tell you whether or not you're scheduled. So you can say, hey, you do have a scheduled build week or you're unscheduled still. So that's something you want to do because first off, make sure it's scheduled. Okay. And then find out. And so do keep in mind, if you do have a VIN number, you will get built as a 22. It will not get pushed to 23. I'm asked that a lot. And if you have a VIN, it will get scheduled and be built as a 22. So just so you know that. Now that you know, okay, I've checked. Mine, it does not have a VIN number. It does not have a scheduled build date. It is still unscheduled clean. So now what? Okay. Well, so now you want to see if you have an approved order. This is another big one. I had somebody with a first edition. We talked about it last week that their order wasn't approved. They watched the videos that I've done, some of the tips that I've had, and they actually reached out and the dealer didn't even realize that the order wasn't approved. So the first thing you want to do is find out if you have an approved order. Is it approved? Is it on hold? Is it submitted? So there's 3 statuses to when an order is taken. When you submit your order, you will get an email and Ford customer support will see the order in there, but that doesn't mean that you have an approved order that the factory is going to look at. So you need to make sure. Now the on hold status means, well, first of all, if you get that information, you're going to see that submitted. That means when a dealer submits an order, the paperwork through to Ford, it's going to be submitted. Then you're going to get one of 2 things. You're going to get an on hold status or you're going to get an approved status. The on hold status means it's holding for something that it needs. This could be as simple as a blurry copy. It could be maybe it's missing a signature off the order form. Maybe the address on the order doesn't match the address on the driver's license. We've had that happen before where somebody moved and said, yeah, well, I've moved. And I said, well, you're going to need to get to the DMV and get your new address changed and get us a temporary copy, and that can get approved. We've had that happen. So you have to have different things like that. In this case, the customer I'm talking about, their order was on hold and was on hold from October clear through until May before they went to the dealership, and the dealer's like, oh, it's on hold. They fixed it, got it all taken care of, and now it's approved order. And so it will be looked at for scheduling, hopefully in the month of July. So you'll need to make sure that's approved. Now, one of the things you can ask, first things you probably want to ask is, ask your dealer what your priority code is. Say, is my order been moved to priority 2, or is it still sitting at priority 10? If it is a priority 2, you're good, you're approved, you don't have to ask, because an order can't be, the dealer cannot change an order from a priority 10 down to a 2. The only people that can do that are the people that are scheduling for the factory. And so if you see it's a 2, that means they've seen it, they're looking at it to be approved, or that means it's approved order that they can see and then they can schedule for. So you definitely know you're good there. Now, if it is still setting in a 10 to 19, somewhere in there, then you want to have them check and see if it is an approved order. Now, I want to kind of give you, and that's where you have to get that from the dealer. There's nobody else that can help you with that except for the dealer. And so hopefully they don't give you any pushback, but you can say, I've been waiting a long time. I have a June, July, August order. You know, you've got to give me something here. I want some confidence that it's an approved order, that Ford is actually looking at my order, because I'm seeing other people that are scheduled around me at the same dates or even after me, and mine's not scheduling. You have to give me some assurance here. Show me that. Can you show me a copy or a print off of the ROVP approval for my order? Or if it's another Ford vehicle, Ford lineup, it'd be a COVP, Certified Order Verification Process. Now, something to know, just talking about the priority 2s, if you have a hybrid June, July, August, September order, any of those months, your order should be in priority 2 by now. So if you have a hybrid in any of those months and you're still at a priority 10 to 19, that's a red flag that you probably do not have an approval on your order. If you have an EcoBoost order from June through November, those should be in priority 2 by now. So if you have an EcoBoost order, we have some of our December orders that are still a 10. Like on EcoBoost, if I look down through my orders, the first 10 that shows up is November. So even our Octobers, so I need to update that. So even our Octobers have a priority 2. So scratch that. June, July, August, September, October orders and hybrid should be a priority 2 by now. EcoBoost, if I look at my EcoBoost orders, December 17th is my first priority 10. So that means if you're June, July, August, September, October, November, early December, you should be a priority 2 by now if you have an EcoBoost, as well as on a first edition. First edition, about all your first editions should be priority 2 by now. So if you have a first edition, you're not priority 2, they're not looking at your order, it is not approved order, you need to do something about it. You need to contact your dealer. And, you know, I've had a lot of people say, well, they're not willing to look it up. They're not willing to accommodate me. Then call Ford's complaint line at this point, because somebody needs to take care of this. The customer support line will not do that. They're able to help you and look things up, but they're not going to put any kind of complaint into the dealer. That's where that Ford complaint line comes in to play there. So try that. So yeah, look at that order date and see when that is. Now, once you do get an approved order, they are going to base the scheduling off of your original order date. So let's say you don't get approved till May, they're still going to, but you ordered in October, they're still going to look at that October as your order date once you have that approval. So just keep that in mind as well. I think I've covered everything. Also, another reason maybe you're a priority 2, maybe you have an approved order and you have a June, July, August. We talked about it already with these 4 customers here that didn't get scheduled, is to look at what's on your order. I know a lot of you are like, it shouldn't matter by now. I have a June, July order. They should have not looked over my order, and I totally agree with you, but they still are. So here's something you want to look at. If you have a hybrid, luxury, co-pilot, you have 3 constrained items right there already going against you. If you add any more, it's just like a fire. You heap more and more coals on the fire, it's not going to happen. So just like with these people, they had all 4 of these orders had 3 constrained items, and then they added the DIO that I don't think is available right now, that looms bed lighting, and now they're not being looked at. They're passed over. I bet you if we take those looms bed lighting in July, those would get scheduled. I would be no doubt about it. So in fact, I'm tempted to take it out. I don't like to make any changes without the customer's acknowledgement, but it's to the point now we'll contact them and say, oh, I haven't been scheduled. Why not? Well, you need that Looms bed lighting. So you want to take it off, or do you not want to get yours scheduled? So it's really up to that. So, that's something to look at, because trade items do matter. A lot of people said it shouldn't matter. It does, people. It does. They will look over your order because of that. It's an algorithm. It's not somebody looking over and going, well, this poor person that ordered in June, July, let's go ahead and put that one in there. No, it's an algorithm. It's a computer doing this. So the more items you put on there, the more likely you're going to get overlooked and moved to another order. So just take the items off. So at this point, but if you want to get pushed to 23, leave them on. So it's really how you want to do it. So I got the sun coming right in at my face here. Kind of funny. Anyway, so that's my topic for today. So hopefully that helps you out. And if you want to know that list, I can give you that. Now, even though we're talking about this on the Maverick, and the dates might be different for those different orders, but the same premise goes to any other order for any other model. So kind of talking about Maverick right now, because a lot of people, they're new to the Ford lineup for that reason. But the same concept goes for any model if you have an order in. So I've seen it with some other models like F-150 on some customers and such. They still have to get approved. Every model has to have a COVP approval. Maverick is ROVP, or their order will not be looked at for scheduling at all. So, and then constraint items again are a big kicker there. So just so you know that. So, yeah. So anything. Let's get into some questions here, and I've talked long enough about that. Get into some questions. So let's see here. Move up. I want to make sure. So go ahead and throw your questions in there. I probably not hit them. I'm going to hit Blanca here. Says Tim, thanks for everything. Our son in Wichita is getting update emails from Ford of pushbacks. Us not. As of our second edition. Oh well. As of now, production date sometime in August. Yeah, a lot of them. You'll notice that the reason they're scheduling this month for the weeks of the 22nd and 29th is because they pushed all those orders in the first 2 weeks to, well, actually 2 to 3 weeks there, right? So 22nd and 29th, we're getting into September at that point. So you're going to see that happening on those. So, all right. Any others comments? Gary says, hi Tim, my October 7th M22J order was not on your list. Show, let's see, October 7th. Now I was looking at hybrid. Oh, it's on there. I just didn't. I needed to scroll down. It's on the list. It was online. It's on line 45. So let's see. Am I still? What am I looking at? There you go. So there it is. Yep. M22J is right there. So, yeah, we just need to get more. It looks like, so, I mean, when we look at our orders, probably shouldn't put people's names in there, but anyway, so when we're looking at orders here, make that smaller. Should have done that earlier. We're looking here, outside of those 4 orders, now we're talking, we have, 1, 2, 3, 4 in August, and then we're working to September. So, and then we only have, and these are hybrid. This is just my hybrid list. So, we have 8 in September. So I don't see any reason why the rest of our orders through at least September won't get scheduled next month, and maybe even quite a bit of October. So, yep. How many do I have in October? 35. Yeah, 35 in October. Might be hard for us to get through. Depends on how many allocations we receive. But on the EcoBoost side, we still have quite a few there. So, but there you go. Put this around. There we go. All right. And next question. This is Tim, my July 8th order, hybrid Lux Copilot 360 was listed at priority 2 for several months, then got moved to priority 13. I've seen a copy of COVP listed at priority 2. Okay. Well, now the dealer can move it from a 2 to something else. Like I had to make a change on an order the other day, and I had to take it from a 2 to a 10 to make the changes and submit it. The only people that can move it back to a 2 is the scheduler. So what we usually have to do is, if we make any changes like that, is that we have to go and then send an email. Hey, we made a change to this priority 2 order. Can you move it back to priority 2? And they will do that. So that is something to keep in mind there. So, all right. So next one. Tim, what size is the tailgate on the Maverick? I would like to get it wrapped. Don't know. 100% I don't know the actual measurements and everything there. I'll have to get that for you. All right, Mike said, oh, where did it go? Someone who I had talked to once actually called my local dealer asking if they could buy my XLT scheduled for August, since I already bought a Maverick. I haven't told my dealer yet. You know, I mean, basically on that case, the dealer would, if you have a buyer for it, it's really up to the dealer on that. So, you know, really, technically it's their order. If you're not going to take it, then they can sell it to whoever they want at that point. They don't have to sell it to your friend. Just so you know that. So it just really depends on how they want to do it in that case. So I know that we're getting in a situation now where the name match is a big, effect on things, because there's not many, options or exceptions for that, death or another family member or not getting approved. Other than that, there's no other exceptions. So an exception of, hey, it took too long or something like that doesn't work anymore. So, we're going to probably start, making sure. I know a lot of dealers were doing what we were doing, and that is, if, an order was in there and somebody says, yeah, I don't want it anymore, we just left the order in there, let it schedule. When it came in, we sold it to somebody else. That's, we had several like that. Now, if it's an unscheduled order and they cancel and it's still unscheduled, it gives us an opportunity to cancel that order, which moves other orders up in its place, for one. And for two, it just allows for us to get more name matches and get closer like that. So, that's the case. A lot of times people will tell them, hey, your order got scheduled, and they're like, oh, I don't want it. It's kind of late now. It's already scheduled. I can't cancel a scheduled order. So that's difficult. So yeah, definitely. And I know other people are going to be putting in orders at several dealerships to find out which ones get scheduled first, but you might want to make sure you get on that, because it's not fair to the other dealerships. If they get scheduled and then you don't take it, then that's going to be a name match that won't work for them. So, so hopefully people are very respectful of that. All right, so Elijah said, my hybrid first edition finally got scheduled. Thanks for your videos and advice. Good. Glad I could help. I have a VIN and build date. Thanks for all you do. Sure. That's what we're here for, right? Community, helping each other. All right, Kirby said, hey, Tim, is a bed liner a constraint item on a Ranger? I am over 4 months now and at my dealer here in Canada. I believe so. Let's look up constraint list for Ranger. The only constraint item, no, there's not showing any constraint items on Ranger. So evidently not. So I'm not sure if it's just because, how many that they're building with those on them, that it's not a problem. Whereas on the Maverick, there's so many people choosing. I think the biggest problem on the Maverick is on the Ranger, it's a standalone option. So I don't think it's a constraint because not as many people are choosing it. Whereas on the Maverick, it's part of a package. So when everybody wants that package for other things, it gets a spray and liner. So that means there's more of those having to be put in. Whereas on a Ranger, it's a standalone option. So we're not having that constraint, which hopefully for 23, we see that happen as well. All right. Any other questions? All right, how does the AXZD plan pricing work with mid-year price increases? Are they locked into the plan pricing? Okay, so the easiest thing to do, and I think actually I went over Blanca's, I'll come back to yours, is that if it was ordered as an A plan, X plan, Z plan, D plan, it was on your order sheet correctly in that way. So that makes it easy, because then you can go, okay, well, you ordered your D plan. We ordered it as a plan pricing. It's real easy to be able to take that sheet and just go, boom, price protect. You just use that price. It's very simple in how that works. Now, if you order the vehicle and didn't have your plan pricing at the time, and you want to get it when it comes in, that does make it a little more difficult, because basically what the dealer is going to have to do is figure out that difference from what what it was when you bought the vehicle. What was that D plan on? The invoice will have it on the new one, but you won't have an invoice on it when you ordered it. So that's the hard part. So what our Ford rep has been telling us to do is take the invoice price from the ordered vehicle, and then from the other one, take the invoice from that new one, that'll be your price increase, subtract the invoice prices. There's your difference. Take that difference off of your new D plan price, and that should get you your original A plan, Z plan, D plan. So that makes sense. So, all right. So Blanca said, I forgot my question. Why do you think outdates keep getting changed? We can't change anything else and have a VIN, even if we can't even change to 23, can we? No, if you have a VIN, at the point once your order gets scheduled, it gets a VIN number. So if these here, just for instance, these 18 that got scheduled this week, today, the 18 orders that got scheduled today, they got scheduled for a build date the weeks of the 8/22 and 8/29. They received a VIN at that point in time. So Ford said, this is an order we want to take. The way it's built, they're going to schedule it for that week. You can't make changes to that order. You can make changes to the color, because the color is not an extra part they have to go find, or if they have to make sure they get it in stock. But you can't like add a package or subtract a package. They scheduled it, was built, their algorithm figured it out and said, this is why it's needing to be scheduled. Uh-oh. Am I good? I think we're good. Okay, my software about disconnected on me, but I think we're good. So hopefully we're good and we're back. So that VIN is dedicated to that vehicle. So you can change colors. It's not too difficult for them. That's just another color that they can make. But when it comes to other options, you can't make changes to it, and it will get built the way it is and will not get pushed to 23. So you would just, even though those dates get moved back and forth, you just have to hold tight and just wait for it to be built and hope it doesn't get moved back anymore. All right. Any other questions? Let's see here. Best to wait for updated 23 Super Duties given the recent testing sightings, possibly, or buy a 22 Super Duty in dealer inventory. I will say this, dealer inventory is very sporadic. Most of the Super Duties that are on a dealer lot is luckily maybe a customer didn't take theirs. And I will say most dealers, just like us, are going to have them priced up. So it really just depends. If you really need a Super Duty badly, pay up for the dealer. Hopefully you have a trade-in that can counteract the price increase, because you'll get more for your trade as well. That's probably the best scenario, I'd say, if you're looking to get a Super Duty. But 23 is going to make a refresh this year, so you'll see some different front facial, back design changes to it, probably interior changes. Overall equipment probably not as significant, but it'll have a nice refresh for 23. So if you didn't get your order in for 22, you can feel good that you can maybe put an order in for 23, but those order banks won't open until I think October. See, I have August in my mind because almost everything is opening up in August. All right, Austin Little said, hey Tim, I received a package in the mail from you today. Oh, really? Wonder what that is. Also, I had to step away from the live stream for a bit. Was my order one that scheduled? I think so. Yes, it was, Austin. Yours got scheduled. At least I can say I can give good news to somebody on the stream. I feel so bad for so many people. Gosh. All right. Steven said, Tim, looks like my second Bronco landed at Long MacArthur. Yes. Again, I was off yesterday, and I heard it showed up yesterday, actually. I got a phone call from Mike, and he told me that it showed up yesterday. So, yeah, so that's awesome. And I think it was back there getting clean, so we'll see. But definitely, you know, if you're wanting, I didn't get a chance to reach out to you before the live stream or anything, but since you're on here, I know that yours came in, it's a base Bronco 4-door. I haven't had a chance to put those struts on, and I think I heard that it's getting picked up at 8 a.m. So I might have to ship it off to you or something. And then I have something else for you. So we may have to do that. But if you're wanting the wheels, I think we have a set of Big Ben wheels. If you're wanting something put on the vehicle, we're gonna have to cancel the shipping. So you might let them know. I know Aftermarket will be here at 7:30 in the morning. You're gonna want to contact them at 7:30 if you want to cancel that shipping and get some stuff done to your order, to your Bronco. Just so you know, because we tried to move as fast as possible, and I was surprised that it was already getting a ship date to get picked up. So really up to you. It's got the Steelies on it, but if you're good with that, I'll send the strut to you, and pretty easy to install. You can install it yourself. There's a video that shows you how, and I can just ship that to you. So anyway, so Stephen won the contest a couple weeks ago. So, all right. And Blanca, thank you very much for the donation there. Appreciate it. So we'll get yours built here. August isn't that far away, right? Feels like forever. So I think my expedition is still setting in Kentucky. I don't know. I haven't gotten an update for a month. So gotta be patient, right? All right. William said was L57S XL Maverick October order. No, we didn't have any October orders. What'd you say it was? L57S? Might be easier just to... There it is. From October 18th. So it was not scheduled. So, although we may want to take that bed tray liner out, I would really highly recommend that. So, I mean, because yours doesn't even have a luxury package getting in the way or anything. I would take that bed tray liner off, though. So if you want to do that, email me, timothybarts@gmail.com, and we'll get that taken off. But I would really recommend you take off the bed tray liner. It's a really big constraint item, and you actually might get scheduled ahead of some of these other October orders because you have no luxury package getting in the way. In fact, when we get down to the October orders, in fact, right about there is where we start getting some orders that do and don't have the luxury package. And if we get to those October orders next month, that could be the one thing stopping those orders from not getting scheduled and getting pushed to 23 is probably those luxury packages. And since yours doesn't have it on there, I'd get that tray liner taken off. All right. I did see the video. Just wondered how simple it was to install. Well, let me tell you, Stephen. If I can install it, you can install it. I'm not real good. When I do home projects, my wife's like, oh, it's simple to do. I always do it, and I always got to do it again because I always mess it up. So if I can install it, you can install it. So it's pretty easy to install, actually. You just take out, there's a couple of screws at the top you take out, and then you put them different screws they give you with the bracket, put the top part of it in, and then screw the bottom one in, and then you just put the strut in the middle, and pretty much that simple. It's pretty easy. Actually, you know, the first one mine I put in, it probably took me close to 30 minutes, but then when I helped put in one for the general manager and his Bronco, we were able to put it in about 5-10 minutes. It's pretty quick and simple. So anyway, not too bad. All right, Tim, I just received an email from Ford confirming my production week. You previously told me 38 minutes ago at 8:19. We have made an adjustment to the production date for your 2022 Ford Maverick. Well, good. Okay. So you got an email. Okay, so you did get an email then. So maybe they're back to doing that. I don't know. I don't think Ford's real consistent with their communication there, but all right. So Bad Company said Mav XLT Eco Lux FX4 with a bunch of constraints. When it goes to 23, which at this point I want it to do, can I take those constraints to expedite process? Yes. Yeah. You'll be able to do that. Basically, that order is going to get pushed from 22 to 23. And at that point, you can make any changes to your order. So, in fact, you don't feel like you have to make those changes, because probably what will happen is about a week before the 15th, those 22 orders will get put in there as 23s. And then you can make those adjustments. But you don't have to feel like you have to make those adjustments by the 15th, or you're locked in. Just like now, I'm telling people to take things off their order. You can make changes. So the good thing is that order is going to be in there before any of the 23 orders. So that's the biggest thing, is getting that order in there. But then you can make some changes to the order. So you'll be able to make those changes. I mean, in the past, they said, okay, if you switch from eco to hybrid and such, then it was going to affect your order date and everything else. Well, that's because they were kind of constrained on how many orders they were taking. They knew they were getting close to their deadline. At that point, they didn't want people switching back and forth, because they knew they already had more than what they could handle. But early on, especially the first month, you're going to be able to change motor, that kind of stuff, and it shouldn't affect. And if you're not going to be price protected, but instead get a kind of a private offer back, then it's okay for you to go ahead and switch your motor, switch from an EcoBoost to hybrid if you want, or change your trim and that kind of stuff. So we'll get more information. Don't make, of course, any changes now. We actually thought a customer was going to make a change to something different trim, and right now pretty much everything's locked. Your trims are locked, your motors are locked right now for 22. So at this point, you kind of got to wait till it gets to 23, and then you should be able to make adjustments without affecting too much there. All right, so let's see. Mike said, let's see, wait, Jason here. What are the constraints on Super Duty LED headlights? It's for the Lariat quad beams is a constraint. From what I understand or remember. Pull them up. Last one on here. Lariat with the quad beam LED headlights, fog lights, tail lights, which is option 59Q, is at 25 to 35%. Still a decent number, but it's pretty low. All right, Mike said, my wife usually calls a handyman to repair the damage I cause when doing a project. I hear you. So I'm about to the point. We did 5 days of painting, if that tells you anything. Well, not 5 days. I mean, we painted 5 rooms in our house. I mean, we're talking a long hallway, dining room, living room, including a fireplace with bricks. That took 4 hours. just to do the bricks. That's a darker color than the rest. And we did up the stairs and then the hallway upstairs, which had never been painted since we moved in. Yeah. It was like almost a full day just in prepping, moving everything to the middle, taking all the plates off and everything, patching up the nicks and everything in the wall, letting it dry, sanding it, cleaning the floor and everything before we get started, all that stuff. And then it took us 9 hours each day to do a coat of paint. So not fun. But luckily she did tell me we will never have to paint again, because she said by then we'll pay somebody else to do it. It's because we'll be too old. So I'm all for that. All right, William said, I have been getting a weekly email pushing my order back 9 build weeks so far. Okay, so you're getting communications then. So I don't know. I don't have a Maverick order to be able to know. And I know I can tell you in my Expedition back then in February when it was getting pushed back, I was getting the emails every time it got pushed back on my Expedition from, I think we started with a February 14th build date or something. I was getting emails, but then at a certain point they stopped doing the communications. And then once it went into production, then I got an email that it was, produced. And then I finally got an email that it was released, but nothing since. So, yeah, so I'm not sure what their communication is at this point, and I don't have a Maverick on order to be able to tell you. I do have a Lightning that went. I got an email that it was sent to the plant, so it went into production. I have not got an email since then, but yet when I look in the status, it's been produced, but it hasn't been released from the factory yet. So, all right. So Mark said, "Can you post a pic of your smoke quartz Lightning when it's delivered?" I'm really intrigued with the color. Yeah, it'd probably be. Who knows? I don't know. I just know there's somebody that their Lightning was built a month before mine, and it still hasn't been released from the factory. So I figure I'll wait until his gets released from the factory, and then expect mine to be a month after that. So at this point, it's July now. It'll probably be August before it gets released, and it'll probably be September before I get it. So, but yeah, as soon as I get one or I see one. Because you can actually order a smoke quartz in the other versions, the ice versions as well. So if we get one in, definitely. All right. If the woman don't want you handsome, handyman. Yep. All right. Tim, we're still in Kansas. You are the Wizard of Mav. We're still. Okay, I get that. All right. So Chris said, do you know if OEM Lightning running boards are available from parts department? The Pro doesn't come with runners. Oh, I didn't know that. But I don't know. They should be. I mean, they should be able to get those through parts, I would think, or aftermarket should be able to get those. So, no, Stephen, we did not use that, but we had a light color to start with, so it was lighter, so we went darker than what it was before. So, yeah, we're good. It looks good. It's done. It looks good. It was just some long days there. That's why I was happy to go back to work. All right. Wonder if they are holding Lightnings to extend the tax credit window. Don't know about that, but so we still don't have our demo unit yet, so I'm waiting for that so we can do some videos on the Lightning when that comes in. I'm really jealous of these. There's some really good YouTube channels out, dealer ones. Town and Country is a great channel, very knowledgeable. Mitch is real good. I love watching his videos, and I'm so jealous because they have their Lightning and they're doing all these videos to it and everything, and ours isn't here yet. I'm just itching to get one here so we can do some videos. Any news on when Ford will get to January orders? Eco XL with Copilot 4K. Yeah, ordered. At this point, I'm pretty fearful that most of those January orders are going to get pushed to 23. We don't have that many. Let's see, move this. On our EcoBoost orders, we have, because we only have one November order for EcoBoost, and we have, see, there's 4. And we have 11 December orders outside of that rental company, which those are going to always, those are like, we left those as a higher priority, so they're not probably being looked at. So we have 11 December orders, and then the rest are January. So it may not be, actually could be next month. We could see next month some January orders being scheduled. It's very, very likely. Most dealerships probably will be seeing that. So, all right, my Maverick has been off on the rail and released since the 22nd. It's awesome. Are there carrier delays right now? Yes. Or a way to track it. In fact, Steven's in here. He might be able to tell us how long we knew when it hit the ramp, because I think he had about the time that he couldn't track it on the rail anymore is when it hit the ramp. And I don't know how long it was, but it seemed like it was at least 2 weeks before it was here, maybe even 3 weeks. So you might ask him, maybe he'll put that in the comments. So I know Steven Lazaro, his I think maybe is 2 or 3 weeks. So before we get All right, just skip past those questions. There we go. So Rob said, Tim, that is why paint is spelled that way. Oh, yep. That's true. A lot of time on a ladder. That's what I'm saying. Hello, Tim. I have heard Ford's having chip issues with hybrid power boost engines and are not scheduling any build currently at the plant. I am currently sitting at priority 2. Yeah, they're not scheduling any hybrids this month, or this week, I should say. Not this month, this week. So they said F-150 gas only. No hybrids are getting scheduled this week. So that's, that was probably be it. So chip or battery, I mean, they're having battery issues on the Maverick, and that's a hybrid. Could be a battery issue too. I don't know. Tim, my county changed my street name. How will that impact my price protection? Ooh. Change your street name. Can't believe that. What'll probably happen is that you'll probably just need to submit that information to get the dealer that information so they can get it. Because if the dealership, what should happen is the dealership should just give you the price, and then they should be reimbursed. So it's going to be the dealership fighting to get the money from Ford, so that way you don't have to fight for that part. But probably a good idea so that they have, some information or paperwork that the address changed or the name of the street changed would be the biggest thing, so they can communicate that to Ford. So, wow. That's a new, I haven't seen that one come up yet. Please read oh, did I miss one? I'm trying to use my stream instead of the chat on the actual website. So let me see. Did I miss it? I might be passing it up here. I'm trying to hurry. He might have to put that back in there. So if you can put that question back in there, I'll make sure I don't miss it this time. Exactly. 2.5 weeks from the date it was taken off the rail. So there you go. So yeah. So Stevens took 2.5 weeks from the time it got off the rail in Kansas City till it arrived here. So, hey Tim, what are your thoughts on the release of the Maverick plug-in hybrid? I don't think it'll happen this year. My assumption is it might be next year, or maybe the year after. But I don't think it's ready. I don't think it'll be ready for this year. I think we're going to see a all-wheel drive hybrid version before we see plug-in hybrid. And I don't know if we'd see them both the same year. So, I don't know. Don't know. I've had a weird situation with my Maverick ordered July 9th last year. Early May, they told me it would be built in June. It went into production, then switched back to order confirmed. Any idea what happened? Probably started to go in production, and that's probably when they were having issues with the batteries, and so probably got pulled out and probably got pushed back for that reason. So yeah, I'm not sure. And you're just probably looking at the status. I'm wondering if you can look at the production. Your dealer should be able to pull up and see more details, I would think. All right, so I missed somebody's comment up here. I'm going to see, since there's no questions coming in, I'm going to see if I can find it. There was, yeah, so... Looks like he put in a message, but then it got deleted. All right. Keep throwing those questions at me. I'll keep answering them for you for a little bit here. All right, so Melissa I did miss this one. Melissa said, if my dealer didn't do an ROVP, will that affect my order to go through 422? No. Well, so here's the case on that. So if you have an order submitted, but it didn't get the ROVP before the deadline, the order sits in there, and that order should get pushed to 23. You just want to make sure the dealership does the paperwork and gets it approved for 23 when that happens. So yeah, you want that order to stay in there. So we actually had someone that happened to that did that, and they didn't get the RVP in, but that order was in there, and they says, well, it wouldn't get built till 23. Well, they're correct. It's because they didn't get the paperwork done on time, or didn't get it done right. So didn't get it done right. Didn't do it right. All right, I'm not finding that message in here, so but we do have a super chat. All right, so Gary said, does a plant hold at the final ramp prevent it from being put on a convoy until that status is taken off? Yeah, so it is, if it's a plant hold at the final ramp, that means it's probably waiting on something to be put on, the ramp, to get on the train. So at this point, yeah, that's going to be holding it off until it actually gets put on that. Like for mine says it's released, but I don't have any information of a rail or anything, so I believe it's still sitting in Kentucky, and it hasn't gotten on a rail yet, for some reason. So I don't know if it's backed up, but what's funny is mine said produced for a long, long time, and then finally said released. So I knew it was waiting on a chip hold, which now doesn't say that, but I just don't have an update. So I don't know if it's, in transit or if it's still sitting there. So I get that. Yeah, so there you go. All right, Claire said, of your Maverick orders scheduled today, were they hybrid? Yes, they were all hybrid, which I thought we had 20 allocations this month. Last week, 2 were EcoBoost got scheduled, and the other 18 this week were all hybrids. And of the hybrids, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 out of the 18 had luxury and co-pilot. The other 3 had the luxury package without the co-pilot. So they all had luxury package on them. But I've been kind of pushing my orders with the brand manager. So, I actually sent them, hey, I want these 10 orders to be go next. And so I don't know. But they were trying to go in order as much as they can. And all of our luxury co-pilots are what's got scheduled. So, and maybe it could be too the fact that our dealership has a lot of those early orders where some dealerships don't have those. If we had, 500 orders, but other dealerships only had 20, they're not going to have near as many, luxuries and co-pilots that need to be scheduled. Whereas we had a bunch, and that's why we're seeing a lot of those get scheduled. So, now. So, anyway. Did I miss any questions as I was scrolling? All right, so we do have, did the 23 Expedition order guide ever get released? No, we were told that the order banks are supposed to open up for the Expedition and this last month, and they didn't. Let me get my information here. So they gave us a sheet that showed that she added these little stars of when we were supposed to start scheduling. Expedition was the order banks were supposed to open up in mid-June. Didn't happen. The brand manager, I got him to email me back once, said that fall. So I got a feeling that Expedition probably is going to be at least moved back to mid-July. But we do know F-150 and Ranger are supposed to open up like July 18th, I believe. So hopefully, kind of waiting to see when these new models open up and when the order guides become available based on when the order banks open up. So that gives us some information when we start looking in August for those for Maverick, Bronco, Mach-E, Explorer, and Transit Connect. There's 5 that are going to open up in August, 2 in July. So Ranger and F-150, I'll be doing some videos here soon. I mean, we're almost to July. And so when we get those order guides, we'll be doing some videos on those. So, and maybe Expedition's going to fall right in with that. I don't know. So anyway, but not yet. All right, if my Maverick order is priority code 2 and my dealer tells me that it will be built as a 22, can I trust them? No. They don't know for sure. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, we have, you know, divided by, we have a lot. Go through and do this another way. We have 69 priority 2 hybrids at currently right now. I don't believe they're all going to get scheduled. And if I look at the EcoBoost, we have another 54 of those. So I don't believe that that's going to happen. So just my case there. So all right. Oh, another super chat. So all right. Oh, there we go. Manfred, we got this. At the time of order, I got RCL, but now I've ended lease on my truck. Will I still be protected under old pricing? Okay, so you have a lease. Price protection should be protected anyway, regardless of whether or not you're in a current lease. Maybe that's what you're asking or not. I'm not sure. At the time of order, yeah, so you put that in there a couple times. So your lease shouldn't matter on whether or not you're price protected. You should be price protected as long as that order was in there. All the paperwork is in on time before that date. You should be price protected without any problem there. So, all right, Town Country TV, awesome, you're in here. That's awesome. I love the video content you have, so I really appreciate doing that, and jealous of your lightning videos. Getting the lightnings. I want a lightning so bad, but yes. And actually watched the All Things Terrain. First time watching when they were live video and you were on there. You're the reason why I actually stopped down and watched their video, their live stream the other night. It was a great video, a lot of great content. Really had a lot of fun that night. So yeah, so Town and Country, another channel to check out. They have a lot of good content, especially when it comes to aftermarket ads. They kill it. So yeah, thanks for being in here. I appreciate it. So all right, any other questions? Elijah, what's the minimum prep required before the dealer can give you the vehicle? Okay, hold on, sorry. What's the minimum prep required before the dealer can give you the vehicle once it hits their lot? Anything that Ford requires them to do? Yes, they have to go through, it's a pre-delivery inspection that they need to do. I'm not sure of everything. Of course, they check the oil, they take it for a test drive, make sure everything's good and ready to run. You know, things have to be put on the vehicle that were put in the vehicle, just because they can't be transported that way. Antennas on F-150s, different things like that. So yeah, there's things that need to be put on the vehicle. They have to be inspected, and that all needs to be handed in to Ford and everything. So, you know, that's just some things that just has to be done. So PDI needs to be done and can't be delivered until that's done. Now, on the detail and the cleanup, that's really between you and the dealer. We've had some customers that want the plastic left on and some of that stuff. And we've had some people just want an exterior clean and just leave the stuff inside, and even maybe sometimes the window and that kind of thing. So I trust our dealers, because I wanted the window sticker from my Bronco. It's on the other side, I guess. I wanted the window sticker. Really, be careful, but I trust our detail guys back there, and they do a fabulous job. And I said, hey, just be careful with the window sticker. I like to keep that and frame it. And so they take it off, and are very careful. But so I know some people just they like that left on, and like they do it themselves, kind of like unwrapping their own gift, right? So. Yes, good dealers unite. That's right. There's some really good dealers. You know, I know in the chat in here, a lot of people have talked about, you know, their dealer not being up to date on things and everything. There are some great dealerships out there, and I think I was thinking about this the other day. I was in the Maverick Truck Club, and I was thinking, you know, we need to make a post of good dealerships in the different states, so people know where they can go and order, and they don't feel like they have to come to Kansas or Alabama or some of those other places just to get a good dealership. So definitely there. So All right, thank you for your answer. And last question, am I price protected going from 22 to 23? That we don't know yet. From what the information I gathered from the brand manager, sounds like to me that there won't be a price protection, but more than probably a private offer like they did on the Bronco going to 23. So that's probably what's going to happen, but we should know more information. I know we're supposed to meet with our Ford rep Thursday, so hopefully we'll get some information about that then. And we'll know a little bit more about that. There's going to be a lot of models that are going to carry over from 22 to 23. Not just the Maverick. There's a lot of other ones that'll probably carry over as well. So, all right, did I miss any questions? I feel like I missed some questions. If my salesman can delete the looms from my September EcoBoost Lariat Lux, does he have to email the scheduler at the plant to change the priority 2, or is that person at the dealership? Okay, so yeah, so what you want to do is if you have a priority 2 order and you want to remove those looms, bed lighting, which I encourage you to do, what you want to do is your dealership will have to take the priority code from 2 to 10, which they can do that, and then they would have to then remove that item and then submit it. So then what happens is that you have a priority 10 order now saved, and so then the dealership will just need to email their Ford rep and say, hey, this order number for the Maverick body code, this is the body code, this here was switched from a priority 2 order that we made a change to help it get scheduled. Can you move it back to a 2? My Ford rep within 24 hours, not even that long, sometimes a couple hours, depends on how busy they are, that's flipped back to a 2 pretty easily. So, but that's how you'd want to do that. All right. Any other questions? So I'm scrolling down here. So Mitch's ears must have been burning. They jumped in the chat. I mentioned you earlier. So, all right, Steven. Tim, my Bronco has 51 miles on it. Could that have been from long wait due to the chips? It could have been moving around sometimes, especially if your Bronco, I think, set since January. So it could be the fact that it was sitting for a little bit, that they drove it just to make sure. A lot of these vehicles sometimes have test miles on them. There probably was a sticker that was put on the window, that said that it was a test driven a little bit. 51 miles is actually low if it was tested and such, but I wouldn't be surprised if it had a few miles since it was sitting. So they probably want to make sure that, when they do add the chips, then they will have to, just want to make sure it drives and everything's good there. So, all right. Thank you so much, Tim. Ford should give you a special award for all your help. I feel like if it's knowledge, we should share it, right? All right. So Barbara said, ordered on October 25th. Hadn't heard anything, nothing except for email in April saying I would hear something from Ford in June, but nothing yet. Will it turn into a 23? Kind of hard to tell. Yeah, because it's hard to tell on your orders without being at your dealership and looking at your orders. I mean, I can look at our orders and such and have a general idea, of what can happen and what should happen, having those 18 that get scheduled. But really just it's hard to tell unless I can, your dealership should have a little bit better idea, but it's hard to tell. I think they really are trying to give allocations based on the timeline on some of those, especially the ones it's been close to a year now, or well, we are over a year. But I think it's kind of hard to tell that. You do have an October 25th order. We don't have really any of our October orders that have been selected yet. So hopefully next month would be my guess, or it might get pushed to 23. So. All right, just wanted to say thank you for the documentation you provided. No problem. My dealership honored price protection and March incentive for my Bronco Sport. Awesome. See, great dealerships. There's good ones out there, and I do believe there's some dealerships that aren't trying to do anything wrong. They just don't know. They didn't know how to process it, and so yeah, just getting that information so you can make sure they know how to do that, and So I've had dealerships contact me saying, hey, can you, that information you've talked about, can you get me some documentation on it? So, yeah. So Steven said, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Thanks for confirming. No problem. Is it possible for a dealer to get estimated delivery before truck build is completed? Not typically. Now, I have seen where they produced the vehicle but not released it from the plant and put a date out there pretty far. Like my Expedition for my wife, it was, that production date, it actually gave us a date like into August, and then they moved it up. Once they got the chips put in, then they moved that date up. So sometimes you'll see an ETA that far out. I wouldn't worry about a date, an ETA, until it's actually been released from the plant, and then figure it probably about 4 weeks. 5 weeks now, it seems like, but that's probably where I'd go there. So, can dealer prioritize Lightning orders regardless of wave? Can they submit a wave 6 before a wave 2, for example? Can they pick and choose verse based upon order date? Maybe asked before. No. Once the order is submitted, the customer does that online. The dealer just has to confirm the order, so that order date is going to stay where it's at. And if they had a wave 2 invite, then and they went ahead and ordered, then the dealer would just confirm that. Now, back in what was it, December, January, it feels like. Dealers were able to prioritize some orders if they wanted to, and some of that happened. But in a way of once those wave invites go out, it's not our choice to do that. A lot of it is out of dealers' hands. Those wave invites are given out based on your prioritization on your list for your customers, which mainly is based on the time frame of the reservation that was submitted, and that's how those waves are going out. At this point, we're probably locked in. I believe that date was a couple of days ago, last Friday, with all the waves for 22. We're pretty much had to be in by that date. So I think at this point, we're waiting for when 23 invites start going out, which they did say this summer, but for them, summer is a season. So as long as it could be August, anywhere July, August, before we get information on when they're going to start scheduling or sending out invites, I should say, for 23 model year. Any other questions? All right. Is it true that Lightning truck batteries explode? I sure hope not. Otherwise, there will be no Ford Video Guy. So I sure hope not. I haven't seen any. I haven't heard anything about that. I think that would be pretty big in the news right now. But I would say they want to make sure this thing launches well, and I don't probably not having issues with that. So now do keep in mind, batteries in the summertime when it's hot, they are going to, get hot, and they need to be cooled off. One of the reasons that even though I don't plan to tow with my Lightning, I ordered the tow package because it gives you extra cooling for those batteries. And I know summertime here, it will help. Plus I just feel like it'll help with the distance I can get from it by having the extra cooling. That's why I received it. But so surely they have that all taken care of and figured out. I think I heard today that the Mach-E, there's some people I follow on some videos, and I can't think of the name, but I think they said that even the Mach-E's, the OTAs are about ready to go out for the recall on the Mach-E's. So it looks like that's happening a little quicker than they thought. So I think that's a good thing. So, all right, our Ford customer support phone lines still open this late? Don't know. I think so. I'm not sure. Lawmaker, do you get active lists for constraints that are happening on each vehicle? Yes, we do. We get one at each month. So when we get with our Ford rep gives us a new list. Of course, it is based for our region. We're in the KC region, so that's where that list is based off of. And so, yeah, I will have again, Thursday next week, we'll be going over that information. So in the videos. So. So yeah, they give us a list for the entire month of that production. So the last list that we received that went out was for June scheduling. So, and the constraints that were happening for that month. So when we get this next week will be for July's production constraints. So we'll go over that next week and model by model. So. All right. If my order is on hold due to my license address and different from my order verification address, and it's on a Super Duty, would it be too late since the order banks are closed? Okay, I'm not sure if I understand that. So if order is on hold due to a license address, no, as long as okay, I understand what you're saying here. So if the paperwork for the COVP was submitted before the deadline, then it can be on hold. Like that, for instance, we had that customer on the Maverick, had an order submitted in October. The paperwork was submitted through the ROVP system back in October. It got an on hold status and has been on hold all this time. Well, in May, past the deadline, they were able to go in and make that adjustment and get that fixed so that they had the approval. So as long as the original paperwork was submitted before the deadline, you can go in and make any amendments so that you can get an approval on your order. So yeah, you want to make sure you get with your sales person, dealership, and get that corrected. They still, as long as they had submitted the paperwork, then they're good. Now, if they took your order and didn't submit the documents, which I've heard of that happening, and the deadline passes, the order will be in there, but it won't be looked at for scheduling until next model year. So it'll just stay in there. So, welcome, Joel. All right. Only thing on the Lightning is tire. Yeah, I did hear something about the tire pressure the other day, so they can go ahead and get that fixed while mine's sitting there. I'm not going to ship it out. Will you do ordering for the Mach-E when ordering opens later this summer? Yes, we will. We are an EV dealer as of right now. We will continue to be an EV dealer. All right, Joe Mendoza, are you an airplane pilot? Oh. Thanks, Don. All right, new colors for 23 Maverick. Don't know. So we really won't have any information. I did ask the brand manager, will be there any teasers being released to the, to the media or anything on anything coming out big for the Maverick for 23, and they said no, that is not their intention. But of course, we'll keep with Ford Authority and all the different media outlets to see if anything does squeak out somehow. But at this point, we probably won't know any new changes for the model year until the order guides come out. So we'll have a lot of fun with that. So. We'll see. Eruption green is the only color that's not out that it might coming out. So we might see an eruption green come out. Love to see a race red in this. I think the Maverick is a great truck for fleet businesses. And race red, of course, it already has a white, I think is a good color. So hopefully they give us a race red for next year. We had a customer that I think they purchased 2 Mavericks and they wrapped them both in the race red color to match up with their race red trucks in their fleet. So yeah, I think that's a color that they need to have. See race red, hopefully eruption green. We'll see what else. So we'll watch again next week. Okay. Any Bronco updates? No, last Thursday, we had we had 6 Broncos scheduled. I was really pleased to see that they were some of our older Broncos. So we have 17 that carried over from 21 to 22. Of those 17, 6 of them did get scheduled. I thought it was kind of funny though when Ford did tell us that Badlands with Sasquatch and Wild Track wouldn't get scheduled. We had 2 Badlands with Sasquatch and 1 Wild Track that got scheduled out of the 6, which I thought that was kind of funny because they had told us and our information that those wouldn't because of shortage of the wheels, but evidently they must have got some in and decided to schedule them anyway. So, all right. Other than that, not too much. I see the media has released some videos and articles and such on the Everglades edition, which I think is a cool edition. I probably wouldn't get the Everglades. I'm not the snorkel on there. I'm not going to take mine tressing through the mud and the swamp. But I kind of like the wheels on it, but otherwise, don't know about that. All right. Anything else? Well, if there's no any more questions, I'll give you a few minutes here for any more last questions. Don't forget, if you're not subscribed to the channel, don't forget before you leave, hit that subscribe button so you're subscribed. And if you hit that notification bell, you'll get notified when we go live next week, 30 minutes before, as well as when we go live, as well as any other videos that we do. So definitely want to make sure you hit that subscribe button. See the people in here with the little logos beside their name? Those are our members. So if you want to become a member, any of our videos, click that little join down there, get a little more information about the different perks. It's not a revenue generator there. It's just a way that I can connect closer to the community and having a lot of fun with that. We do some separate videos and such, send out some merch to all of the people that are members. Somebody had mentioned earlier they got a package from me, so they received their membership perk there. So have a lot of fun with that, as well as a special experience for those people that are members that want to do orders with us as well. So as well as for the Maverick meetup we're going to have. We're going to do an event Friday the night before. I'll have a dinner with all of our members. So that'll be a lot of fun too. So definitely check that out. It doesn't work on a tablet, on an iPad or a tablet, I guess, but you can check that out. So, all right. So any last questions? I do want to thank, before I leave here, of course, all the super chats. Wow, had a lot today. Usually don't have that many, so I love getting those. I appreciate it very much. Also, don't forget too that if you can re-listen to this if you want to on a podcast, any of the different podcasting formats. I do that tonight. Probably have it up by 9 p.m. This evening on the different, what is it? Here, let me throw this up there again. So your iHeart, Stitcher, any of those, you can check that out on there. Lots of links in the description for all the different articles we kind of talked about and had some fun discussing down there. So check those out as well. And so again, thank you very much for watching the live stream. Don't forget to smash the like button if you haven't done that already. Do that before you leave. And thank you for all the great questions. I always appreciate it. So one last question here. Whenever I call Ford customer service, they ask me which Maverick I am calling about. There are 2 Mavericks under the same sales code, one for October, mine, January. Is this an issue? What's happened there is the dealership gives the order number to your order. All my orders, I always put TO1B for Tim Bart's. So all mine are TO1B. So if they use the same order number on another order, then it'll have the same order number. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just going to make it a little bit more difficult to clarify that when they come in, when they see that order number. So, but otherwise, there's nothing wrong where it shouldn't affect whether or not your order gets scheduled or gets produced or anything like that. So nothing to be concerned about there. So again, thank you for watching the video. Got another question. You guys won't let me leave. Well, Ford Honor financing from July of last year under the price protection. It's actually not price protection, it's in the locked-in incentives. So I actually don't have that graphics here, but I can get it. They will do that when they do the Smart Vincent. So let me see if I can throw that in here real quick before we leave. Let's just find it. I actually have it. All right. So can you see that there? So price protection is something that's automatically done. You don't have to do through Smart Vincent. But if you want the incentives from when you ordered your vehicle, they have to do that through the Smart Vincent. What a lot of dealers do wrong on this is that it automatically, the system defaults to the sale date. which I circled it there. So the incentives are based on the sale date. That's the default. So when they go in there and like, no, we can only see the current incentives. We're not able to see the other ones. Well, you can lock in, and the way you get those rates, the rates from when you ordered, is by clicking the little radio button for protection date. That's how the dealership would get your locked in rates from when you ordered the vehicle. So hopefully that helps you out there, gives you that information. I don't know if I can prop. There we go. Okay. Any other questions before I leave? Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week. And if you want to, check us out on Facebook on Thursday night. Link is in the description for that as well. And as soon as we get those videos going live this week as well, and then we'll see you guys on the live stream next week. Oh, thank you very much for the donation, Mo2. Thank you, and thank you for everybody else watching the live stream. I'll see you guys next week.